Hi everyone, today we are going to do a scrapbook page. I've done lots of cards and really I need to stop putting off my scrapbook pages. So I got this really great scrap stack from, of all places, TJ Maxx. It's called the Alphabet Stack by DCWV and it's all black and white and silver and I got them for $5 and it has some really cute stuff in it. Of course it has all the letters. And today we're going to use the letter J because my son's name is Jackson. So black and white photo that we're going to use, and the first thing that we're going to do is mat it. So I'm going to measure the picture. We're going to do this the long way. Usually I would just glue it and cut it, but we'll measure it today. And just to be sure what size it is, sorry. It should be a 5 by 7, but it's a little shy of that. It looks like it's like 4 3/4 by 6 3/4. So we'll cut the mat 5 by 7, and I think that should be fine. So I'll get out my little cutter peen. I don't know why I always say it's little peen. It's really not. And we're just using plain black cardstock. And we'll measure 7 first. I'm going to cut it all the way down, save my scraps. And then we'll cut the 5. It's still cold in here today, even though I don't have a sweatshirt on. I do have my Uggs on. Anyway, okay, we're just going to mat the picture on there. I'm going to tape the picture and then just center it onto the black. Okay. Oops. I'm going to make sure I get my corners because they're the parts that usually peel up. Okay. And then this will go right here, except what I want to do is I want to cut this J so that it overlaps the picture. So to do that, I'm going to need an X-Acto knife. I'm just going to go across the circle just a little bit, just enough so it pulls up. There we go. Okay, and then we're going to go ahead and glue this down onto the paper. I did not do a good job gluing today. Okay. And the reason why I'm gluing this way is because I want to make sure it's exactly where it needs to be to underlap that J. Underlap. I think that I'm making lots of words up in these videos. Okay, sorry about that. I'm usually not like that. Actually, I'm the first one to tell you when there's a word that doesn't exist, but we won't go there. Okay, so there's our picture and our mat, and actually this paper has allowed me not to have to do a whole lot to it, but I do want to do some journaling down here, so that's the next thing we're going to do. And again, I think we might tuck this under the J here, so I'm going to go ahead and take that blade, and I'm going to go ahead and do that now. Now, you might want to get some kind of cutting mat. I need to get a really large cutting mat, but I haven't done so yet. And so I have this really old table, and I don't mind that if it has cuts on it. So my husband painted it for me, and it just, I mean, it's so old. Okay, and then that will go under there. Okay, instead of using a journal block for this white square, because I don't have any that are big enough, I'm just going to stamp a phrase on white cardstock, and the phrase says, "An entire world of possibilities waiting to be discovered," and we're just going to use black ink, and like I said, on white cardstock. Make sure you have something cushy, and then stamp down. And then we'll trim that up. Sorry, I have flowers on here too. It's a piece of scrap paper. I always try to use my scraps. And then we'll cut that. Once it's cut, we're going to mat it onto black paper. So just grab a piece of black paper. And again, I use scraps. So today we're going to use a scrap. And then we're going to trim around that.
You're talking to me?
And once that's done, we're going to tie some blue ribbon around it. So I'm just going to grab some blue ribbon and tie it and then slip it around. Hopefully I made it the right Okay, perfect. And then we're going to pop dot the back. And then we're going to put it on the white cardstock. And this one's actually going to overlap the circle a little bit. Okay. Now, to bring the blue into the rest of the page, I decided that we should probably just do some little ribbon tags around the J. So they're going to look like this. I've cut out a couple of these little tiny pieces of blue ribbon. And we're just going to staple them with the tiny stapler. And I think we're going to do 3. I'm going to have to turn it to the side to get to this. And then one more. You don't have to tie it or anything. Just fold it and staple.
Let's fold it, Mom.
Jackson's in my scrap room today helping me out, so he doesn't realize I'm doing the scrapbook page for him. And that's it. That's the whole page. It was as simple as that. When you have that great paper from DCWV, sometimes it's too easy to do a page.